Hey, my girls. Welcome back to another episode of Becoming Confident. My name is Cleopatra. On this podcast, we speak about all things confidence, becoming your best self, building your self esteem, sharing my own personal journey, and sharing this journey of other women. So, together, we can create our dream selves and our dream lives. So, if you want to be a part of this journey, make sure you go ahead and subscribe. So, in today's episode, I am going to be speaking about what to do when you do not know what is the next best move for your life, when everything seems so dark or confusing, or when you have big decisions that you need to make and you just don't know what to do. Now, the reason I want to talk about this is because this is something that I've been going through right now, not really knowing what step I should take right now to get out of the circumstances that I am in and worrying about if I make the wrong decision. So during all of this, I absolutely had to sit with myself a lot and pray and ask for direction and journal and meditate. But even with all of that, even with doing everything that I thought I was supposed to do, I really haven't received clarity on what I should do. Like, what is my move? If you're anything like me or just the whole world, right? We all want a straight answer. We want God to be like, move here, do this, say this. But it just doesn't work that way, which can be so frustrating, especially when time is just moving and you seem so stuck and like mental paralysis. Oh, what should you do? Should I do this? Should I do that? Jumping back and forth between what decision to make. One seemed like the smarter choice, right? But it doesn't speak to your life, it doesn't speak to your soul. But the other one that seems like a more larger risk that speaks to you a lot more. One seems easier and other one seems harder. This is such a paralyzing place to be in. And what I realize is that the scenarios that I'm playing in my head, they're only scenarios, right? It's stories that I'm making up because I really don't know exactly what is going to happen with either decision that I make. There are so many different possibilities and realities in life, and your imagination is just your imagination. It's not fact. I don't fully think that I grasped this whole idea until now that our reality, right, is just an illusion. And what we see and perceive to be true, that makes it a reality. And what I mean by that is this: if we perceive that we are making the wrong decision, then the reality is that we are making the wrong decision. Because if we think that we're making the wrong decision, it's never going to feel good. Every time we're taking steps, it's always going to feel achy. It's always going to feel uncomfortable. Versus, for example, for me, if I perceive that whatever decision that I'm making is going to take me one step closer to my desired life, then that's my reality. Because one, if I believe that to be true, then I will see that every step, right or wrong, is bringing me closer. And so if we shift our perception, then we shift our reality, because that's all reality really is: perception. So the best thing that I can do for myself is just move, because moving is the only way to get out of the current circumstances that we're in right now. Even though, I don't know what's going to happen, and the same for you. You don't know what's going to happen. You just have to move. And the two things that I learned after making this decision to just move that made me feel even more confident in my decision to move was, number one, I was listening to this guy that I listened to on YouTube, and he was kind of explaining what circumstances meant. I didn't know this. I'm sure a lot of us don't know the real root words of certain things. And he explained that circumstances stems from these two words, which is circle and stand, right? And normally our circumstances, what it means is the circle that surrounds us, right? What's surrounding us in this moment. And the thing is, the circumstances will always remain the circumstance as long as we are standing still. So, like the circumstances that you're in with your relationship, with your finances, with your emotional well being, with your mental health, if those things in your life are not doing so great, it's going to stay exactly the same if you just stand there, just worrying and crying and don't know what to do, that you just don't do anything, right? So it stays there. So moving and taking action in some direction is the only thing to spark change. And so another thing that made me feel more secure and confident in my decision to just move is I was reading a plan from the Bible app, and it was about decision making. And it explains, like, we all want answers, right? We all want that type of discernment to know what is the right choice, especially when it's a huge decision or even a small one, right? Whatever it may be that impacts us. And she wrote saying that we can pray, we can ask for guidance, we meditate, and those are important. However, our part is not to just do those things, right? Our part is also to move and take action, even if we don't have the direct answer from God that we're looking for. Because when this happens and you decide to move, whatever direction you start to go in, you will start to feel what they say is the Holy Spirit, right? Or our eternal God, that discernment. You may feel that this is your intuition giving you the feeling like, okay, yeah, this is the right move. Once you start moving, and you might get a not so good feeling that this isn't the right move once you start moving. And this made so much sense to me because there's so many times where I made a move that initially I thought would be really good, right? Because I saw someone else doing it, like a new business idea. And once I started it, I started to get this gut feeling that this isn't for me. Not that it was a bad job, not that it was a bad idea. It wasn't even because it was hard work. It just didn't feel good to me. I'm happy that I did make that move, because if I didn't, it would constantly be in the back of my head. Should I have tried this? Should I have tried this? And once I did, I felt free to just let it go, because I got that discernment, right? Because I had to move and I was able to receive clarity as I was moving, versus if I would have never received that clarity and that discernment and that feeling within me if I would have just not ever took a chance to say, okay, let me try this. So I really hope so far, like, this is inspiring you to just move, guys, because one, that's the only way you're going to get out of your current circumstances. And two, once you start moving, the answers, the things that you've been praying about and meditating on and wondering what move you should take, if you're going to make the right move, you're going to make the wrong move, you're going to get those feelings and the discernment and intuition, as long as you're listening to yourself once you start moving. And, sometimes it may take a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, or even longer, but you will know. Okay, so next things I want to share is the lessons that I'm learning as I'm moving through this from my own personal experience. Lesson number one is, don't worry about what can happen tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, if you were to make the wrong move or it just didn't work out in your favor as you hope for. I know we hear a lot of this all the time, but it's so true, because worrying and anxiety absolutely does nothing. It does nothing but slow you down. You begin to get in your head and you start panicking, and it causes you stress, and it just drains you of the energy to keep going that you need to keep going. So focus on what you can do today, because we can't control tomorrow. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or next week. So focus in on what you can control, and that's you taking steps, is you moving, is you walking, is you trying something different, is you pivoting, is you just focusing your attention. That's what you can control today, and just hope for the best, number one, and trust that everything will work out, even when it feels and it looks like it's not going to work out. And this goes into reminding yourself that you've overcame mistakes, you've overcame bad moves, and trusting whatever decision that you make, as long as you are breathing, you can come back from it. If you did make the wrong move now, at least you learned something, right? You gain more wisdom, you gain more self-awareness, you gain more understanding on what to do and what feels good to you. And that is what moves you closer to the right move. Third thing I learned from my own personal experience with this, and I know a lot of us struggle with this, and that is releasing control. The not knowing is driving us crazy. And I'm starting to believe that this is really a test, right? Yes, we can create our own reality, but we're not in control of everything, right? We have to learn how to surrender, and that is something so hard to do. We can do our part, and that's it. Like I said, we can control what we can control, our focus, our movement, our action, our emotions, our thoughts. We can control that, and then God does his part. And it sucks because no, it is not always on our time. And I hate waiting. I hate waiting so much. It makes me so frustrated and sometimes angry because I don't understand, why? Like, why is it not? Why am I not getting the answers that I need right now when I want the answers, right? Why? And so I had to get to a point where I truly felt like, yo, F it. I don't have all the answers. I'm just going to do what I can do with all my might and hope for the best and just let shit be because number one, I don't want to be frustrated and mad. That creates very low energy. It pushes you further away from whatever decision or wherever desired goal you're trying to achieve. And number two, if it does not work in my favor, I won't die, even though it feels like it, right? We've all been there where it feels like we feel broken because we made a wrong decision. And if it works in my favor, at least I will get there with ease in my mind. And I know that is easier said than done. I have to check myself all the time because we like to control things and we want things to happen on our time, but I do believe that this is a lesson that is so valuable to me and to you, right? As you move, let go of control. Just move and control what you can control. Again, like I said, your attitude, your words, and just let it be. Just focus your attention on that and not what you can control and just surrender because we can't control everything. We cannot control everything. Rest in the truth because this is truth that moments are temporary. You may feel stuck and feel like there's no light at the end of the tunnel, right? All you see is darkness, all you see is confusion, all you see of these things. But trust in the fact that moments like this are temporary. Just like everything else you've overcame in the past, and let that gives you a peace of mind because that gives me a sense of peace when I know no matter what I'm going through in a moment that it is temporary and all I got to do is just get out this circumstance. Just get out of it by moving, right? I feel that peace knowing that. And that gets me excited to know that in a few months, in a year from now, or even a few weeks from now, that I'm going to be looking back at this moment as just a memory. I'll be so grateful and be so happy with myself that I didn't allow the things that I was going through, my circumstances that I felt that I was in, to stop me from moving and doing my best to change those circumstances. And that's something to look forward to is that all moves are not wrong moves, right? There has to be a right move in all of this. And that's just law of averages. I used to do door to door, and law of average would be okay, I can knock on 100 doors and I get like 97 no's or people don't answer but I get 3 yeses. Not every move is going to be the wrong move. All you need is one right move to make this moment temporary for you and make you feel so much better. So just keep moving. One of them is going to have to be the right move. One of them is going to have to be the best move. Lastly, we made it to lesson number 5 is that your confidence will be tested. And this is one of those tests that in order for you to gain more confidence in making decisions for yourself is going to first require you to have some courage to get started and move. It takes courage to move. It is scary to move when you don't know, when you don't see the future and you don't know the outcome and you're not confident that the decision that you make, you're going to receive your desired goal. It is scary. It is so scary. And it's so scary that many of us, when we have that fear, we stand still. We just don't move. And so, with that being said, courage, it is the first step. Having the courage to move without knowing is going to require you to take action without having all the answers. right? Not being in control of everything, the courage to bounce back, the courage to pivot and change direction and keep trying when, odds don't look so great. And you're the only one that can make the best decision for your life. You need courage, the willingness to just move and see what happens. And so that is where I'm at in my life right now, is just moving. And these are the lessons that I'm learning right now without even knowing what is the next best move for myself. And so that is it for this episode. I really, really hope this episode speaks to you. If it did, let me know in the comments. If you made it this far in the episode, go ahead and hit that like button so you can help my episode rank higher and reach more people. I'm doing something new. I'm starting to be very loud with my goals, and I want to make podcasting my YouTube channel my full-time job so that I can create more content to help you girls, to share more stories. And this is the one thing that you can do to help me out. And I would really, really appreciate that. So thank you so much. Know that with whatever decision that you make right now, the best decision that you can make is just moving. Even if you don't know if it's the best one or the wrong one, that's the only way to get out of your circumstances. And once you start moving, you will start to get some discernment within you that this is either the right direction or the wrong direction. And again, I hope this helps you on your confidence journey. And until next time, guys, bye.